On this episode, we wrap up D23, the Ultimate Disney Fan Event, and share movie, TV, and park news. Today's August 13th, 2024. This is episode 693 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey guys! Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic, and on TikTok at MSM Podcast.
If you want to be part of the community and join the conversation, in addition to live streams from the parks and our weekly live show, head to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday.
Planning a trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World can be overwhelming and at times just downright frustrating. But don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. Hey everyone. Just to let you know, although we do mention it in the episode, we recorded this on Sunday as soon as we got back from our trip at Walt Disney World, so we had not gotten a chance to dive completely into all of the details that had come out and continued to come out Sunday afternoon and Monday morning before we recorded this episode. But don't worry, if you want to hear even more thoughts on all of the announcements, especially when it comes to the park news at Walt Disney World, make sure you tune in on social media this Thursday at 7 p.m. for our weekly live stream. All right, let's get on with today's episode.
And here we go.
So on today's episode, we are going to talk all D23. We were hoping to be out there this year. It just didn't work out. So we're going to talk all about that. And then on the next episode, I'm super excited because we did go down to Disney, just me and Jeremy. School starts tomorrow, and the girls they had their things going on and didn't want to go, and we needed to do a little more work. But I'm super excited that we got to do the Orlando Informer meetup.
Yeah, I can't wait to share all that with everybody. And we'll talk about a few other things. We stayed at the Swan Reserve for the first time. We tried some new dining. We did like a lounge crawl throughout the Swan and Dolphin and Boardwalk, area kind of right there. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Yep.
But as Rhonda said, we could not be out at D23 this year. We're hoping to get out there in the future, but we want to bring you all of the news and a lot of the stuff that was announced. Now, we're not going to go into every little detail of everything.
Right.
Heck, it's still going on right now as we record on Sunday.
Yes.
But the major stuff that came out was the entertainment showcase, which talked movies and television. We're going to go over a little bit of that. And then we're going to talk what everybody wants to hear about, which is the Horizons Parks and Experience panel, which just happened last night, 3 hours long, probably the most impressive one we've ever seen in our lifetime, I feel like, of announcements that are coming. And so we'll get into those in a minute. But let's start off with entertainment. This is going to cover some movies and stuff that we knew about, but we got some updates and a whole bunch of new stuff. So let's first start with a new look at Moana 2, which comes out November 27th, 2024. I keep
this
forgetting
year.
that's this year. Yeah.
And not only this year, we're in August, people.
I know.
So September, October, November, only 3 months.
Yeah, this is a little over 3 months away. We'll be in the theaters watching a whole new Moana movie.
Amazing.
And I think it's creeped up so much. We only found out, a couple months ago that this was a movie. This was developed and started as a Disney Plus series that they then have now pieced together as a movie. So it'll be very interesting, to see that. All right, so in Moana 2, Moana journeys to the far seas of Oceania into dangerous, long-lost waters for an adventure unlike anything she has ever faced. New trailer looks great.
Oh my gosh, I'm super excited. I love that they have Pua and Hey like in it more, and he goes with her, and we got a glimpse of Grandma.
It's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, it's Disney.
So super excited for that. Also, while Dwayne The Rock Johnson was there, he announced that he is partnering with Disney for a monster truck project, like a Monster Jam.
Like a movie?
A movie.
That's fantastic. Because remember when we were younger and first met, we actually went to a Monster Jam truck show.
That's when I was still visiting Florida.
Yeah.
And I got a taste of Florida by going to a monster truck show, which at an intermission, they had a mullet contest.
They sure did.
And I just remember being there like, what am I getting into? Like, I hope this lady's worth it.
This is funny. That's kind of awesome.
You were. Yeah, you were. So
Good.
It's unclear. I don't know if this is going to be in the vein of like Cars, Planes. You know how they made a Planes movie and the Cars movies? If it's going to be that the, animated truck,
maybe
monster trucks, I guess. That actually could be pretty good. That's got to be a pretty fun world. Also, Pixar is diving into Disney Plus with 2 new original series, Dream Productions and Win or Lose. Dream Productions is actually going to follow the studio that creates and produces Riley's Dreams from Inside Out and Inside Out 2. So,
that'll be
you know how they have that studio that like creates dreams. That's
cool.
what it's going to be about.
That's cool.
So that's actually a pretty cool one.
Yeah.
What is coming, Rhonda, in summer of 2026?
We are getting another, yet again, Toy Story 5.
Yeah. I mean, we knew Toy Story 5 was coming. We got a little bit more information that it's going to be directed by Andrew Stanton, who did WALL-E, Finding Nemo.
All right, you've seen one of those movies. You need to see the other one.
I need to see WALL-E still. So this is supposed to deal with the toys and technology. So like one of the little scenes or whatever they showed was all the toys at the end of the bed, looking at the bed, and the kid is under his blanket with an iPad. So that's going to be super interesting. I mean, it's the next.
Oh wow!
It's the next step. Toy Stories 1 through 4 didn't deal with technology and kids that don't really play with toys as much. And when you get to certain ages, I mean, I was even thinking like, if you went back, we've got 14 and 16-year-old daughters, but if you went back decades ago, even at those ages, they would still be playing with toys of some sort because there was nothing else.
They had leapfrog iPad or pads, and like they had some.
No, but I'm talking about before our children.
Oh,
so
this
is going to actually tackle that, what our children have gone through, which is now they've got to, there comes a point where they put their toys aside and they are playing with electronics and video games and all that.
That'll be interesting.
That'll be cool. It's also supposed to include, as part of the villains, 50 Buzz Lightyears that have, I guess, programmed. The one with Spanish?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's going to be in that same realm or if something went wrong with programming. So at least we got a little more there.
Yeah.
If you are wondering, because we're going to talk a lot about sequels, remakes.
Mm-hmm.
I know everybody thinks, well, Disney doesn't have any original ideas. They do. And one of the things, though, I think is if you go back even the past decade, and you look at what sequels have produced compared to a lot of original ideas, like they haven't struck Frozen again.
Right.
They're trying to get there with Moana and Kanto. Those ones have some legs underneath them. I think those can be, long living. But a lot of the, when you look back at A Wish, A Strange World, Onward, a lot of these original ideas just didn't do well. So all the people who are saying Disney do original ideas, then go support them.
Right.
And they'll do more.
Right.
But Pixar is coming out with a brand new original movie in spring of 2026 called Hoppers. That'll have John Hamm and Bobby Moynihan. So there's an original movie.
Yeah. Okay.
So everybody go eat it up. And then along with that, they're also, and we've heard about this before, Elio, which is June 2025. And they just added Zoe Saldana to the cast.
Oh, okay.
And this is a brand new original story as well. Elio struggles to fit in until he is transported by aliens and becomes the chosen one to be Earth's galactic ambassador, while his mother, Olga, works on the top secret project to decode alien messages.
Yeah, that sounds cute.
So go support it.
Yeah,
right?
we will.
And we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We did get an announcement I'm sure you are very excited about, because we got a whole bunch of Avatar movies still coming out, with the next one coming as soon as December 2025. Not this December, folks.
Nope.
But we have a title. What is it called?
Fire and Ash.
It's exciting.
So that'll be exciting. I've enjoyed them, so I'll definitely
Yeah.
enjoy.
They were dealing with
watching.
the elements now. We had Way of Water, and we've got Fire and Ash. So we'll see what comes up after. All right. Now we'll get to the stuff that is not so much original ideas. But this one came as a huge surprise. What did Pixar announce that they're officially working on?
They are working on The Incredibles 3. That'll be incredible.
Yeah. I mean, I guess why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. It's done well. It's,
It's a great franchise.
It's a family, so just like any family, they grow and you can make that happen. Again, if it's there, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think there's still so many things to cover with stories like this. You're saying, they're a family that grows. We've now seen, the original crime-fighting family that has now gone into like retirement and having a kid, to teenagers, so it'll be interesting to see what they tackle.
It really will.
Also, coming November 26th of 2025, we have Zootopia 2. We did get a clip, an announcement of a new villain, which is a snake. And this will be voiced by Ke Huy Quan, which I probably pronounced his name wrong, from Loki 2, from The Goonies.
Yeah, that's
is Indiana Jones fame.
That's
everything.
awesome.
What is it? Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. We still need to watch that. He's in that too.
Oh, okay.
So, he's outstanding. And we got our first concept art look at Frozen 3.
Wow, 2027.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a ways away.
It is a ways away.
And the concept art was literally like hand-drawn, almost abstract, Anna and Elsa on horses, looking kind of like almost they're coming out maybe
like
of
real horses?
Frozen Land. Well, I mean, no,
Or
it's all hand. It's
her,
all hand-drawn. It was hard to tell if it's her ice horse or not.
Right.
To be honest, just because it just looks like a white horse. So it was hard to tell. And again, kind of we mentioned with all of this stuff that's coming, we are recording this, less than 12 hours after, around 12 hours after the announcements. So we have not scoured the internet. We're just coming up with a lot of the stuff that we have seen. Also exciting in the world of Broadway, Frozen, the Broadway musical featuring Samantha Barks as Elsa, is coming to Disney Plus in 2025.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So getting the Hamilton treatment.
Okay, nice.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
I'd like to see.
I would like to see that.
More of that.
Yeah.
Next,
absolutely.
hopefully we see maybe Aladdin, Lion King, a lot of these. I have wanted for so long. I wish they would bring the Beetlejuice. I know this isn't Disney. This is on a tangent. I would love for them to bring the original cast of Beetlejuice, the Broadway musical, to whatever it is. I don't know if that'd be, Peacock or what.
Right.
But
Disney just needs to buy it. That's all.
There you go. Also, Hercules is being adapted for Broadway.
That's exciting.
That is coming summer of 2025. For all of you that can't wait to go to New York and see it, you're out of luck. Where is it coming to?
It's going to London.
Yeah.
Is that where we're going?
Yeah.
We're going to go watch it? You would love to.
Maybe. We're going to have a little more news coming up that might make us want to get out there at a certain period of time, even more so than we do now.
All right.
Also, I don't know where this one's ending up, but I don't know if you're as excited for this as I am.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I am beyond excited. I immediately messaged our friend Claire across the street. What are they adapting for stage?
The Greatest Showman.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
Cool. So exciting. I wish Hugh Jackman would be like...
That must be amazing. Can you imagine you coming back for that one?
I mean, it's not...
No,
it's
I doubt it. I highly
crazy to do one or something and kind of be like Hamilton maybe, and then what do you call it? Record it, or I don't know. But anyways, I mean, first they got to do the whole Broadway.
Yeah, you got to turn it into a play first.
I know.
Yeah, they're going backwards. That's
know.
the crazy
no,
part.
I know.
So, I feel like because The Greatest Showman as a musical movie was built for the stage, really. I mean, it was made for the stage, so they're going backwards. Whereas when you take stuff like Frozen and Lion King and Aladdin, you have to truly adapt them so much more. Now, the set pieces and the story, obviously, they've got a lot of work ahead of them, but this is just, I would love to see this be a huge success. I would love to see this brought to Disney Plus the way that they did Hamilton, the way they're going to do Frozen, and then I would love to get something eventually in the parks that is Greatest Showman, even if it's a stage-style show where, Beauty and the Beast theater or something like that is, like a quick telling.
Oh, yeah.
That would be amazing. Freakier Friday.
Yes.
Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan
I'm
came
so
out
excited
to tell
for
that.
this.
Yeah.
So excited because Chad Montgomery's going to be back.
Yeah, this is going to be. I'm excited for it.
I'm
I love
very
this
excited.
movie.
And it's 2025.
Yeah.
So it's not far away.
Yeah. They are filming. They showed some photos. Like,
awesome.
This is going to be exciting. Also, we got our very first trailer for the live action Snow White.
That was cool.
I was very pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
It is still hard to tell. And with a lot of these, the dwarves are all completely CGI'd. So it's not, and I don't know how they're going to call them, because from everything that happened politically with this movie, we'll just say they decided not, from my understanding, to be the seven dwarves. They're supposed to be magical creatures instead.
Okay.
Right. So that's what it's going to be. But they still, from the trailer, have that Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs look to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that part's going to be interesting. The CGI might not be finished in this trailer, but I thought from the clips, I thought it actually looked pretty good from what we saw.
Oh yeah. The Evil Queen looked incredible. Yeah. I'm excited, but I always am at live actions.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we like the live actions.
We do.
We like,
and we get
them
behind. We can get behind them.
Yep.
I think in our community, which I completely understand, some people can't, and they don't. It's hard for them to want to watch it, but
which I understand.
I do too. But I'm just super excited for this, and I love this better than watching the cartoon. So I'm very, very excited for this.
And that's what we've said a lot with a lot of these animated to live actions that they do. I've never thought it's because people are running out of ideas. Hollywood's not running out of ideas. Disney's not running out of ideas. They're recreating, they're expanding on, they're bringing to new generations.
Right.
I mean, even, Snow White, Cinderella, so many of these Sleeping Beauty are before our generation. I mean, they're before we were born.
Correct. And I just started to say that.
It can still bring it to us.
Because I am at the perfect age where, yes, I did see it when I was young, but even watching it older, I'm like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, example, Tron is coming, another one. And I watched the old one, and it was so old that I'm like, wow, this is awful because of what they can do now today.
And you can keep bringing that to generations.
Absolutely.
And again, that's why we're seeing now this will be the second Tron sequel.
Yeah.
And they just announced, I'm actually super excited about this one now because they revealed some footage, but they also revealed that the soundtrack will be done by Trent Reznor and Nine Inch Nails.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
If you're a product of the late 90s, early 2000s, and you listen to Nine Inch Nails or Trent Reznor or have followed his career, I mean, first of all, the guy's an absolute genius. I think it was Daft Punk that did the soundtrack for the second Tron movie. And yeah, having Nine Inch Nails, it'll be interesting to see how that helps develop the movie.
Right.
Will be darker in that sense. So that's very exciting. But I think the thing that we were most excited to see, at least Rhonda and I, that I didn't even cross my mind that we would get a glimpse of.
Oh.
Who'd we finally see?
Oh my gosh.
And this, if you want to talk about one live action movie that I think both Rhonda and I, more than anything that has ever been mentioned, were hesitant about.
Yeah.
And I will go on record of now saying didn't want to happen, because I do think it could ruin probably our most beloved character of all time.
And that is Stitch, a live action Stitch. I'm so excited.
We saw him.
He is the most adorable thing ever. I want one.
They killed it.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, there was footage of
he's so stinking cute.
of I guess a dog's eye view of Stitch.
Mm-hmm.
And then we actually see him pop out of the castle logo screen. He rips out through that, and we see what he's going to look like. And they went true to animated. I mean, it's perfect.
I want to just pet him.
I know.
He's so cute.
It looked absolutely
and
perfect. Taco loves him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Like, they already, I feel like, put so much merch out with Stitch.
I know.
Like, they just had the Dooney and Burke's out.
It's a whole Halloween line.
There's a whole I got my weighted blanket.
Yeah.
I still need my Haunted Mansion weighted blanket, but I mean, I'm so excited for even all the merch and just the movie. And they've done him right, so I'm like, okay,
I know. I'll be
let's
interested to see
do
how
Lilo, everybody else. Like, come on, like, but it's Disney, and I don't have. I feel like because of Beauty and the Beast, and I really feel like whoever's in the room office that is like, all right, we're gonna make Stitch a live action, we're gonna make Beauty. I feel like so far they have gone, all right, let us find the truest fan, the most majorest fan, and they're in the room and they kind of go, what about this? What do you think? And they're like, well, or yes, because I just feel like they have done so well for us as true fans. And I mean, I'm talking me with Beauty and the Beast. It's my ultimate number one favorite movie. And I loved it on live action. So we're
excited for this.
Yeah. Super.
Yeah, we're super excited for that. So there's some other new trailer for Skeleton Crew, a new Star Wars series that's coming. We did get a look at Mandalorian and Grogu. They've got a movie coming.
Wow.
So people are excited about that. Some information on Daredevil Born Again, which is coming. Deadpool crashed the Parks panel for a little bit, which is great. So they've fully brought Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds into the MCU and family, which is super cool. But you can go and catch all that information. Go out to Disney Parks blog. You can see even more details on all of that. But movies aside, which we are super excited about, TV shows we're super excited about. This was the make or break, I feel like, year for the Parks and Experiences panel. Right?
Yeah.
Because we haven't had anything major announcements in a long time. 2 years ago, we got a lot of blue sky ideas, nothing that we knew would happen. It was just, hey, what if? If you go back, because they do this every 2 years. So if you go all the way back to like 2018, right? Since then, they haven't been able to announce anything truly concrete, especially as it comes to Walt Disney World.
Right.
You had COVID, which obviously delayed a lot of stuff we had announcements of, or just flat out ruined it. Like, we did not hear anything about Reflections or that plot of land.
Mary
Poppins appears to be dead. Play Pavilion, nothing about Play Pavilion. So, these are all things that were on track. They got kind of squished by COVID. And then we had Disney and the fight with DeSantis in Florida. And no matter which side of that you're on, that stopped them from developing and making any concrete plans in Walt Disney World.
Right.
They were not going to do anything until that was over.
Yep.
So everything, there's really a bullseye on their back and a target on their back for this to be big. Especially with everything that a Universal has done with Epic Universe.
Correct.
Who, Epic Universe is coming in 2025.
Right.
It looks incredible. As far as the marketing and the reveals, Universal has absolutely killed it. I mean, I can't think of any way to market a brand new theme park than the way Universal has done this.
Yeah.
They've absolutely killed it.
Yeah.
Does Disney care? Are they responding? Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I don't think a single thing we're about to talk about is in direct response to Epic Universe.
No.
And a lot of people are going to say that there's things that are, but I think all these were types of things that were being planned regardless if Universe was building a new park down the street.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. And let's kick off with, now this was 3 hours long. There was a lot of fluff. There's not a lot of detail.
Right.
But Disney tends to do it that way. I think
It's
this
smarter.
is another one. It is much smarter. How many times has Disney put out some artist concept just to be, for a bunch of fans to try and hold every little detail, to them? Again, they've got that target on their back. And Disney wanted to get ahead of everything in the blue skies in the past couple years. And Josh Giamaro said At Disney Experiences, Imagineers dream, create, design, and build these stories into real places. And we have Imagineers in place right now all around the world because everything we're going to share with you is in active development. Plans are drawn. Dirt is moving. I just want to be clear about this. We are doing everything you've heard here tonight.
Wow.
So
that's a major commitment and promise.
it is. It's huge.
That's
because
huge.
that has been the whole complaint this whole time. You know, every time Universal announced a new land at Epic Universe, we get all over social media. What's Disney going to do about that? What are they going to do about that? Oh, they released a new bus wrap. Well, that's what they're doing. Oh, they're doing, free water park tickets in 2025. And that's why we're just saying, Disney are doing these things because this is what they want to do at Disney. They know about down the street. They've known about it for a long time. I'm not saying that they don't have their own little competitive spirit, and there's some things that they want to blow out of the water and maybe take some of the headlines away from Universal, but I don't think that's their number one goal.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's somewhere on a list far, far down. So starting up, this will be exciting to our children, maybe. I don't know. But Disney and Epic Games collaboration update. We know that they were collaborating with Epic Games, and Disney Animation, Pixar, Star Wars, and Marvel might finally get me to play this game because they're all coming to Fortnite.
And every time something does come, Kaylin definitely lets us know. Lacey lets us know. It's super funny. So I think it's kind of cool.
They'll really like the Marvel characters, I know for sure, especially Kaylin.
Yeah,
if
she'll
she
be
can
like,
play
I
with
need to get Deadpool.
Or Lacey will probably play with Spider-Man or something. But I mean, they're so into this. They didn't stream the Parks and Experience panel. They did 2 years ago. I don't know why they didn't this year. They changed venues. I don't know if it was to try and give the people who paid to be there a little bit more of that glimpse and not stream it live to the world. They did stream it to cast members through their cast member network. They could watch it. But they actually did a live stream of the Fortnite stuff in Fortnite.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
That's
we've
cool.
seen some of the, a lot of these different things that collab with Fortnite. That's the way they did it. So that was pretty interesting. Another one that dropped last night, there's a lot of surprises. This one, I think, was a huge, huge surprise.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Disney Cruise Line, right? We've already
Yes.
got ships coming. We've got 5 already around. We've got 4 more coming, right? We're not, in addition to that brings us to 9. We're not just getting another one. We're not getting 2 more. We're not getting 3 more.
Oh my
How many
goodness.
more ships did they announce?
They announced 4 more, which would bring it to a fleet of 13.
4 more ships.
That's amazing. Like, that's crazy. Like, wow.
I mean, it's
still surprised.
Well, what's great? We've got the Destiny and Treasure and Adventure. We've got all these ones that are still coming.
So what are these? What's 4 more going to be?
I don't know, but they're also setting sail from 2027 to 2031. So these are coming pretty quick. Really. I mean,
I feel like they're trying to do every year, almost like Avatar did. Okay, we put one boat out. Now we're gonna boom, 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 boom.
Just do them all. Like they were producing them all next to each other or
That's
something.
Funny.
We'll get through a couple more, and then we're gonna talk Walt Disney World because I know that's the stuff that most of our listeners are excited to hear about. There's a World of Frozen coming to Disney Adventure World in 2026. This will be over Disneyland Paris. That their other park, which I think now is Disney Studios, is being changed to Disney Adventure World, and I guess this will be a major anchor of that.
Well, that's exciting.
So
gives us more reason to get over there.
Even more reason is a new Lion King flume ride coming to Disneyland Paris.
That's awesome.
So when
good
all
for
this
them.
opens, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna go out. We're gonna see Lion King ride. We want to see, we want to see the World of Frozen. We want to go see the Hercules stage play in London. We're gonna do all that, right?
Yep.
All right, let's talk a little bit about some new Avengers experiences starting in Shanghai Disneyland. They are getting a brand new Spider-Man themed coaster.
Which that looks super cool. It almost reminds me of the Cosmic Rewind car.
Yeah,
maybe?
the concept art definitely has the kind of that big showroom scene as soon as you're starting. And then, I mean, concept art is so hard to tell. The other concept art has, it's got a roller coaster racing through like New York City with Spider-Man swinging by you. So be super excited to see what they come up with. Spider-Man's also getting a ride in Hong Kong Disneyland as they expand the Stark Expo. This looks like it may be a Tower of Terror style attraction.
Oh, yeah.
So very interesting there.
Yeah.
And then over at Disney's California Adventure, they are doubling the size of their Avenger campus.
Wow.
Because they are adding Avengers Infinity Defense, which will be their new e-ticket ride where you will come face-to-face with King Thanos, who is using technology that allows the Avengers to jump between worlds. He has stolen this and is wreaking havoc everywhere.
Wow. Well, maybe this is the time to go to Disneyland when all this is done.
We ain't waiting that long.
Okay.
We'll get out there and see what it looks like before and then after. In addition, they are also getting another ride called Stark Flight Lab. You're going to sit in a 2-person pod and deploy to a test station. Then a robot arm grabs your pod and starts whirling you around in a simulated flight.
That reminds me of the Universal Harry Potter
Forbidden Journey
one.
It does. It looks like that same arm system.
Yeah.
And they actually showed some footage of Bob Iger and Robert Downey Jr. in one of these little arm things. So that looks super cool. So a lot coming as far as that goes. Also, now this is going to be coming to Galaxy's Edge, both coasts.
Nice.
Smuggler's Run is getting a brand new storyline featuring the Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yes, that'll be great. That'll be exciting. It's
about time.
Might make us want to ride it more.
Yeah, what'll be interesting to see is if they update any way that the ride works, like as far as the your pilots and gunners and engineers. I always think it'd be neat if they had more of like opt-out scenarios, or I think it's cool to have this ride that responds in real time.
I don't know, man. I flew for the first time and I'm not good, and I was gonna say in theory. In theory, this is the greatest ride in the world. Right.
In execution, it's not been that great.
Correct.
So hopefully they can bring this back to life, basically.
Yeah.
But that's what's so cool is with something like that is you can change the storyline anytime you want.
100%.
So if something's not working, you just go, oh, some new stuff came out.
Absolutely.
And they have plenty of work with Star Wars. So and that is coming in 2026. Also opening November 15th, 2024, Disneyland is getting Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Of course, we know that. Now we have an opening date.
That's nice.
November 15th.
And I hope when it opens that they've learned a little bit of some sticky situations over here and that Disneyland will be a lot smoother and nicer and better.
Yeah, I hope it can run. I hope it can operate better than it's been going here. Also, over in Disneyland in 2025, they are giving the first ever Walt Disney himself audio animatronic figure.
Oh, that's going to be super... That's going to be super cool, and he literally lives on forever. That's going to be super cool.
Yeah, and I love it's so cool. So this is going to be a new show called Walt Disney: A Magical Life. It's going to start playing at the Main Street Opera House in Disneyland, and after its initial debut, it will go on rotation with Great Moments in Mr. Lincoln.
Okay.
With Mr. Lincoln, which is so cool because that was the first major audio animatronic, that Walt and Disney created, and so I think him now coming in animatronic form. And you'll be able to see where it's come from, that Lincoln animatronic, audio animatronic, to a Walt Disney one.
Wow.
So many decades later will be just super cool. And it's the way to bring them to life. Don't do like a hologram or something weird.
Right.
What'll be neat to see is if they use all original recordings in his voice.
Yes. And from you have told me the way you can do things, I hope they have enough that it would be really cool to piece and put things together where, it's all truly and really him and his voice.
Yeah, because the stuff you can do with AI right now, you can create a full brand new video of Walt. You could have made Walt Disney himself appear to be telling you all of this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they could have made Walt Disney. They could have had a video of Walt Disney announcing his own audio animatronic with the way AI is.
Wow.
It's freaking nuts.
That's scary.
And I'm so glad that's not a route they're going.
Yeah.
So I hope that they're not going to AI generate his voice. I hope that, and I'm sure they can piece together all the audio recordings they have, remaster them, and create this whole story about his life being told by him.
Absolutely.
Would be amazing. So I hope that's what's going to happen.
Yes.
We're not done over there, though. Before we get to Disney World, the Avatar-themed destination is coming to California Adventure. Pandora is coming, and it's going to be inspired by The Way of Water and future Avatar films.
Okay.
So
that sounds cool.
Yeah, it was hard to know with some of the initial announcements a while back when they said that Pandora was coming to Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew if this was going to be temporary, permanent, like an actual land, if it was going to be a pop-up thing, what it was going to be. Well, it's going to be a land.
Nice.
So that's awesome.
That is.
We did not get an announcement. We did not get much for Epcot, all right?
Yeah.
We didn't get a new country.
Nope.
Which I was hoping we would get.
Everybody
really? Keeps waiting for that.
Okay.
Every year, every D23, we think we're getting a new country. We never do. And we are not getting a Coco-themed boat ride in Three Caballeros, right? On Grand Fiesta Tour. But Disneyland at California Adventure, beginning construction in 2026, you can travel to the land of the dead with Miguel and his skeletal family from Pixar's Coco in this all-new attraction coming to Disney California Adventure.
That's cool. That'll be awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So we won't get them here. We don't get anything Coco.
Well, that's okay, I think.
But the announcements
right now.
The announcements for Walt Disney World are ridiculous. Everybody had all of these thoughts leading up.
Mm-hmm.
What are they going to do? My biggest thing was we need to find out exactly Dinoland.
Okay.
And are we going to find out if there's something beyond Big Thunder, right?
Right.
If those two things happen, we were feeling pretty good about it. I think most people were. Well, let's start off, of course, Test Track in 2025. That is closed.
Right.
They're reimagining that to Test Track 3.0. And it's going to explore the past, present, and future of automation with a newly rethemed Test Track. This is still presented by Chevrolet.
Nice.
So it'll be interesting. This whole panel was called Horizons. This is where Horizons used to be. They said it was going to be a nod back to Horizons. I think that's going to be part of that past. But then we're going to the present and future. That sounds awesome.
It really does.
To see what they do.
Yeah, that does really sound exciting.
It sounds like it's going to belong in Tomorrowland, because another thing they're not touching is Tomorrowland on either coast, which I think was surprising that we didn't get big Tomorrowland announcements.
Right.
So as far as we know, we'll talk more when we get into some of these cool announcements. No replacement for Stitch Escape, right, over at Tomorrowland and Magic Kingdom. No replacement for Tomorrowland Speedway. So, I don't know.
Now that with Stitch, the movie coming out,
maybe they bring them back.
Whatever they could do,
right?
right? They could hang on to that for something.
We are getting 2 new lounges coming to Disney World. One of those we knew about in the past, and that is the Pirates of the Caribbean themed lounge coming to Magic Kingdom. That is going to open in 2025. We don't know when, because they just like to tell you years, but we got some concept art.
And it's very pretty.
Looks
it's very cool looking. That's going to be neat. So
yeah, hard to tell from the concept art. There's this huge anchor with, it looks like a chandelier with lights hanging from the ceiling. You got a bunch of people sitting around, not only at a bar area, but tables. You've got wait staff. And then you have this parrot with the pirate that looks like on the bar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this will include some sort of live entertainment or if that's going to be an animatronic. We still don't know where this is going. Hopefully in Tortuga Tavern. They basically moved all of the gift shop from the exit of Pirates temporarily to Tortuga Treasures, it's now being called.
Okay.
My guess is to refurb that shop so they can get that up to speed, bring everything back, and then redo Tortuga Tavern as the Pirates theme bar.
Yeah.
Now, the one that was a huge surprise is a new lounge inspired by Spaceship Earth is coming to Epcot, which will also open in 2025. That
sounds super cool, because to me, that reminds me of Space 220.
Yes.
So very pretty. The concept art is very pretty, very super cool and chill inside, but a nice long bar. And this makes me excited to go somewhere else to hang out in Epcot. That's nice.
And what's cool is there's this whole space because I did a D23 event. It was a taste and savor event.
Okay.
And they had it in this area. There's on the floor up there. There's a whole lounge area. There's a whole private area. And it has windows that overlook the World Showcase Lagoon. Therefore, would see the fireworks, and you can see fireworks outside those windows. So this is the space it's going to be in.
Huh.
It's just going to get such good uses out of this.
That's
and the
great.
design, has chandeliers that, are reminiscent of the geometric sphere from Spaceship Earth. So yeah, it says rich textures, warm metallic tones, giving it a mysterious and elegant intimacy.
That's awesome.
So that's exciting.
Yeah,
that
it
was
is.
not something that we were expecting
No.
to come. Something else that people were hoping for was maybe a return of the electrical parade at nighttime, any sort of nighttime Disney parade, which we have not had in a very long time. We are getting one in 2025.
Woohoo!
So,
But I'm sure they didn't say what it was.
no, Disney Starlight
All right.
is coming. Yeah, so when the sun sets in Magic Kingdom, a new parade will waltz down Main Street.
That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
That'll be
Needed this.
great. We did. I
Badly
think so.
needed this.
Yeah.
So
Super
cannot
cool.
wait for that. All right. We got a couple more to go through here, and these are doozies. These
Ooh.
are big.
All right.
And if Disney is giving a response to Epic Universe, then I'd say that these are it. Again, that's not why they're doing them,
Correct.
but it doesn't hurt.
Oh,
These have
yeah.
been in plan, I'm sure, for a long time.
Yeah.
But coming, we finally know Dino Land, of course, was getting replaced. We know that. And in 2027, it will come to life as the Tropical Americas.
Nice.
So, Tropical Americas is not only going to bring Encanto to life, but also, as we suspected from these blue sky ideas before, but we are going to get Indiana Jones.
Yes.
So we are going to get a brand new storyline for Indiana Jones, even though it is going to take over for Dinosaur.
Right.
Right.
I love that ride. So
Oh, I do too.
I'm super, and knowing the movies in Indiana Jones, and just, I am super pumped for this.
Yeah.
Super pumped.
And what's cool is that, they could have, this is pretty much the exact same as the Indiana Jones over in Disneyland. So they could have really just reskinned and done the exact same storyline.
Okay.
And I think that's what most people expected. And they're not. They're going to create a new storyline.
That's
so it'll have that
awesome.
same ride system and all of that, but they're going to create something brand new.
That's
And
great.
We'll talk about these stories in a second.
Okay.
Also coming though is Encanto. So not only are we going to get the Madrigal house, the casitas and all,
That's cool.
they're also going to put into this Tropical Americas section. They're going to do a carousel that all of the carousel horses will be hand carved out of wood.
Aw.
Different Disney characters. They already premiered a Kevin.
That's
so you'll be able
cool.
to ride on Kevin in this carousel.
That's cool.
And from the looks, because the models now, they have this huge Imagineering booth right at D23. And they opened a whole new section today with models of a whole bunch of this stuff that we're talking about now.
Wow.
And so from the looks of it, you're going to come right now where the huge dinosaur is as you enter Dino Land will be a big archway, and you will lose Boneyard to your left and to the right. You're going to lose all of that. But on the left, it looks like is where you're going to get the carousel. On the right, it looks like you're going to get some shopping, right? Then you're going to walk into a big center hub of this whole Tropical Americas. They've got a fountain built there. Over to your right, looks like we're going to get a complete, of course, redoing of Restaurantosaurus. It doesn't look like they'll potentially, there's no reason to tear it down.
Oh, right.
So if they can retheme it,
Yeah.
and that's where you can dine with the Madrigal family, I'm sure the food there will be great.
Oh, yeah. That'll be cool.
The shop as you exit Dinosaur looks like it's still standing, so we'll have some additional merchandise that'll probably be indie themed. Over on the left, where Primeval Whirl used to stand, and now the parking lot looks like a big, beautiful area that's going to have, tropical landscaping.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe some animals of some sort, and then the Madrigal House, which is going to contain a brand new ride.
That's awesome. Yay.
Now, not going to be a boat ride. So
Okay.
we're going to get some sort of dark ride that's going to take you through the Madrigal House
That's
and
cool.
see this family.
That's awesome.
So again, is that brand new story? Not 100% sure, but this is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, everything looks amazing. They're going to, looks like, again, they're going to reskin Dinosaur, but they've got this big Mayan temple that looks like it's going to be the facade now, and it's going to take you through Mayan culture.
That's cool.
So again, they're really trying, I think, to tie that story and the culture and the history back to Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
Which I think is really, really cool.
Awesome.
All right. Next up. Now, this was thought this could happen. This has been another one that people thought, is this going to happen? The Blue Sky area was the idea that Josh presented 2 years ago was Coco Land, and we're going to get a Villains Land beyond Big Thunder. There's a whole bunch of space back there, right?
Okay.
Tons of space. So they announced Cars Land coming to Magic Kingdom. Construction will start in 2025.
Okay. Well, that's
2 brand new attractions.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I like
I think that's
cars.
going to be super cool.
Yeah.
And again, they could have picked up Radiator Springs from out west and almost brought it here and dropped it in that area, or taken over maybe Tomorrowland Speedway. They said it's going in Frontierland.
Okay.
So you either have the space behind Big Thunder, which there's plenty, right? Rumors are already coming out that they're going to destroy Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer's Island for part of these expansions. I don't know. I hope not. I hope that this isn't replacing.
Right.
Hopefully this will be all expansion, the way they did with New Fantasyland saw a lot of replacement, but you also saw expansion.
Right.
Because it took over 20,000 leagues under the sea.
Right. So
like
that
that
might unfortunately be where, and I mean, I hope people don't hate me for this. I'd be fine with the kind of taking Tom Sawyer's Island and expanding, like taking over.
I don't have an issue with taking over Tom Sawyer's Island. Yeah. I mean, we might lose the riverboat and I don't know that they would replace the rivers. I think that would be silly.
Yeah.
But again, there's going to be a new ride, and it's going to go through mountains and all kinds of stuff. It's going to go through,
that'll fit
through mud holes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think it actually will fit in here really well. Again, they're saying this ride's going to climb through mountain trails, dodging geysers and mud holes. And then you're going to get, for smaller racers, a second attraction that will be geared towards the whole family.
That's great. So
Super
even
cool.
a baby could ride it.
Even hopefully a baby. Then confirmed, it's coming.
Yes.
We're about to have down the street at Epic Universe, Dark Universe.
Yes.
And at Magic Kingdom, we are going to get finally a Villains Land.
Yes. I am super excited.
I can't even believe this is happening.
I can't either.
Because if you go back decades and decades, right? Here's the conversation that keeps happening. Is Disney going to build a 5th park? Well, most of us keep saying no, and a lot of us don't want it.
Correct.
Want them to expand on the parks they have. I don't think there's a need for a 5th park. For decades, everybody said, yeah, well, one time there was a Villains Park. It was If you go back, if you talk to Jim Hill, and like Lynn Testa, when they go back in the history of Imagineering, according to Jim Hill, never in the history of Imagineering was a Villains Land actually on the plan, planned or on the docket. Like, that was never something that was actually discussed. That I don't even know that it was a blue sky idea. Now, obviously you could have Imagineers that are thinking about it. Maybe they chat about it, but it was never a plan.
Right.
So all these people that kept saying, well, once there was a Villains Land, there was going to be a 5th gate. That's not true.
Right.
None of that, from what anybody can tell, was ever true.
Okay.
So I can tell you they've been working on this. Again, this isn't because of Dark Universe. They've had this idea, I'm sure, for long before they knew a Dark Universe was coming. And so there's going to be 2 new rides. There's going to be shopping. There's going to be dining. They did a quick, they did a quick, video on Disney's pages, Disney Parks pages, that were showing all the villains, everything from the Evil Queen to Maleficent to Gaston to Ursula. They showed Yzma, the Queen of Hearts, they were showing all of these villains that I guess could potentially end up here. Yeah. We don't know anymore. The artwork, the concept art is super vague.
Oh yeah.
But there's a castle that looks like it could be Maleficent's in the artwork. I don't know what we're going to get with this, but this is amazing. This is what I could see potentially fitting more into where Tom Sawyer's Island is, but keep it surrounded by that river, which could potentially act as a moat. You know what I mean? Like a separator. Okay. Maybe. Yeah. It also makes a lot of sense for this to border Fantasyland and New Fantasyland. Yes. You're going from, true. Imagine now you're going from Cinderella Castle, right? And you're going to make your way as we learned on Keys to the Kingdom, to the outwardly wooded areas. You're in the main area around the castle and all the people that work at the castle and the people that live there. You go beyond the wooded area where we've got like Enchanted Tales with Belle. You've got Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. You go into Under the Sea, like right next to that and boarding that, I think would be perfect for a Villain's Land. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
And maybe even somehow like back, like also in with the Haunted Mansion, because that's dark and like that's like, you know, and the concept art like is very vague, but it is beautiful and it's dark and it's, you know, lots of purples and greens and darks and blacks and just beautiful. But that would be this is what I am super pumped for.
And I would be willing to guess, because this is what they're doing, is they're, you know, Disney's creating a lot of new stories with their rides. You know, you go back and you look at even, you know, Pandora. You know, this wasn't nothing in there is a retelling of the first Avatar movie. It's all expansions. It's on the story. Tiana's, let's expand the story. So I'm guessing that these will be potential to have expanded storylines for villains. You know, I don't know that we're just going to get a ride where you just ride through and it retells the story of the evil queen or something. Like they might create new stories, which could be super cool, you know, and they're going to have to go beyond the train tracks, I'm sure. So how will they incorporate? Will they do like they did with Pirates when they had to build that, you know, and find a way to immerse you and start inside the train tracks and go beyond into some of the show buildings or whatever it may be. This is going to be insane. I mean, you're okay. Just at Magic Kingdom, right? We still have one more announcement that came out of nowhere, really, right? Villains Land, Cars Land. That's 4 new attractions coming to Magic Kingdom.
Wow.
Plus dining, shopping.
Right.
That's insane. We've got at least 3 new attractions, the Carousel, the Madrigal House, and the Indiana Jones, coming to Animal Kingdom in the new Tropical Americas.
Right.
This could have been it. They could have been done. And they actually ended with Villains Land. Like, I thought it was over. Thought we weren't getting one, right?
Right.
Came out with Villains Land. But what they plopped like right in the middle of all these announcements that nobody saw coming was Monstropolis. Monsters, Inc. is coming to Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, that's super exciting.
And not only that, but what people have talked about forever is actually happening, and the Doors coaster is coming. The Monsters, Inc. Door coaster is coming.
Yeah.
And it is going to be the first ever Disney suspended coaster. So you will hang from you'll hang from it. You'll be in a seated seat that hangs from the coaster tracks on this Monsters, Inc.
Wow.
Where it's going, we have no idea. The same way we don't know about Villains Land.
Right.
And now Cars Land we know is going to be in Frontierland.
Right.
Okay. We don't know about Villains Land. They could take over Tom Sawyer. They could, in the biggest shock ever, take away Stitch's Great Escape and, Tomorrowland Speedway. That seems crazy to me, especially with Tron just opening.
Yeah.
I think they're holding on to Tomorrowland for the future. But this could take over Storybook Circus. We don't know where those are going to go. It could go anywhere, right? This one, we really don't know.
No.
Because the rumor and what people always thought is we would get a replacement of Rock and Roller Coaster with this Monsters, Inc. Doors coaster.
Okay.
Right?
That makes sense, but they just refurbed it.
Right. They just put in a 6-month lengthy refurb. They updated a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know that they're going to just take it away for something else.
Yeah.
Gut it. Muppets Courtyard could be in trouble. From Muppets Courtyard, Pizza Rizzo, Mama Melrose, even up to Star Tours.
Okay.
Potentially could be in trouble to make way for all of this, right?
Yeah.
That's possible.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll touch those because, again, they've put work into those areas. We even just got that new hydraulics, little snack shack out there. They're constantly updating Star Tours in the storylines as new movies and stuff come out, as shows. They just put in Ahsoka. So I don't know if that's going to happen. So it makes sense maybe to, blow out Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy. And you have back our office areas and cast member areas and stuff that lead behind all the way over to Launch Bay, which is sat with nothing except some meet and greets.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be time that we lose Launch Bay, parts of Animation Courtyard. We know they're not blowing out the Little Mermaid area because They're bringing a new show there.
Right.
You know, it's not that long, and they want to keep that Disney Junior because they can plop in new Disney Junior characters anytime they want.
100%.
So hopefully
and that's great for the
where we
little
get it.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you connect. You really come in there connecting then to the entrance of Toy Story Land, the Incredibles area right now where they're doing meet and greets with Edna Mode and Frozone.
Right.
Sully was down there.
Yeah.
You know, so I think you have good space to connect this all together.
You think they'd take away Cars though, the Lightning McQueen?
Yeah. I don't see why
How
not,
old?
especially
Because
getting
that's not old.
It's not that old, but it's old enough to get rid of, you know? I mean, and yeah, and now that you have a Cars Land coming to Magic Kingdom, I don't know that there's a need to keep this in place. But
Okay.
even if you did,
That makes sense.
you could still have a walk through there, and there's still space to put in a brand new land.
Right.
You know, hopefully they're not messing with Hollywood Boulevard, and
Yeah.
you know, I'd be shocked if they redo Rock and Roller Coaster for this. The artwork lines it up with, it could line up with some Rock and Roller Coaster. I mean, it could blow out that area, but I hope they're not just going to take down one coaster for another, you know?
Yeah.
And hopefully this is a whole new expansion.
Yeah.
But
Hopefully.
ton of freaking news.
Yeah.
You know, and we're still learning more. We're still seeing more, but
Yeah.
we wanted to get this information out. And you can read a ton more details at Disney Parks blog, you know, all over social media and the internet, of course, is more details.
Yeah.
We just know that some people don't scour all of that. So we
Right.
wanted to get everything in one concise place and give you guys all these announcements on this episode. So
Yeah.
hopefully that was intriguing to you, learning all about everything that's coming. I'm super excited.
Yes.
I
Me
can't
too.
wait.
And then our next episode's going to be all on our trip and Halloween stuff we ate.
Oh, we did eat a
and
lot. We ate a lot.
We did.
Yeah. And
And the
Orlando
Informer.
Oh,
Yep.
it was great.
Yep.
So, and you know, looking at this now, if you are a fan of theme parks and you're a fan of visiting Central Florida, I mean, between Epic Universe opening and everything now that's coming in the next couple of years at Disney, like, again, we all win as theme park fans.
Yep.
Bring it on.
100%.
And if Disney and Universal are literally sitting in boardrooms doing nothing but talking about each other and how they can outdo each other, heck yeah. Keep it going.
Yeah.
Because again, if all of this was a direct response to Epic Universe, why would any single person complain?
Yeah.
You can say what you want. If you think Universal's winning right now, okay, cool. The
Right.
Epic Universe is going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to blow out probably most stuff that Disney's done up to this point
Right.
in a lot of ways. But Disney's going to fire right back and we all win. So
Yes.
just be happy with it.
Yes.
In the end, it's really not a competition. So, all right, y'all. Thank you so much for listening. Of course, if you want to get all these new episodes, including the one on Friday that Rhonda was just talking about, going over our next trip, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button and you'll get those brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Of course, Rhonda would be super thankful, but I would as well, if you could please leave us a rating and review.
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts, Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.